for this opportunity. So my name is Marius Velea. I'm a former marketing manager at Schneider Electric, looking after Busbar trunking and switchboards. And today the topic is related to the Busbar trunking system and more precisely Canalis offer that we have at Schneider Electric. So moving forward, so this is the agenda for today. So I will try to cover in this 45-60 minutes what is Busbar, what does it mean decentralized distribution architecture, because this is what we have with our Busbar offer, where we can use the Busbar, some Busbar application, the safety feature of the Busbar, offer dynamics, a little bit of difference in between what we call transactional Canalis offer and engineered Canalis offer. Just to say a few words about the green premium that our offer Canalis, it's certified as a green premium product. And I will end up the presentation giving you some support tools that we have in place for this offer. So let's start. So this is to give you a little bit of insights or where the Canalis Busbar is sitting under Schneider Electric distribution offers or solution. So probably you are aware, if not, we have what we call low voltage power distribution story at Schneider Electric, where we present all our offers and solutions that we are delivering in the market, starting, as you can see here, from medium voltage equipment, switchboards, panel boards, and so on, until the switches and sockets. So these are the main, let's say, the main structure of the offer and solution that we as Schneider Electric we are providing in the market. And Busbar, it's basically everywhere on this pyramid of the power distribution story, and you will see in the next slides why I'm saying this, that the Busbar it's practically interconnected with every of these highlighted offer and solutions. So if I'm going to the next one, as I mentioned, I will majority of you are aware what is a Busbar and what does it do, but I just I took this occasion maybe to say a few words about this. So Canalis Busbar, or the Busbar trunking system, as I said, Canalis offer at Schneider Electric. It's a alternative of distributing electrical power. So we know, and we have for so many years or for long, we have the cables that we are using in every application to distribute the electrical power. So the Busbar and Canalis it's an alternative for this for distributing electrical power, and we are doing this. And again, we will see it during the presentation with copper and aluminum busways. And we have different type of tap-offs or enclosure to do the management and to assure the protection of the final loads. We are saying that the Busbars are now becoming quite irreplaceable simply because of the convenience and the safety factor, whilst using the traditional cables. The cost of cabling and trunking and the time taken for the installation is much higher than the Busbar. And we need to take also into account the fact that with the Busbar we have a lot of tests we are doing in the factory. So these components, these products are fully certified from the manufacturer, from our side, from Schneider Electric, and will easy the process of site acceptance tests. So this is more or less what is it's a Busbar. So it's an alternative for distributing electrical power. So as I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, basically being a method of distributing electrical power, you will find this Busbar everywhere, starting from the low voltage side of a transformer up to supplying the lightning in a warehouse or in a logistics center, because everywhere you need to transport energy, there you need to use the bus bar instead of cables. And you'll see some of the slides that I will share today is just a little bit of comparison, why to use bus bar instead of cables in application and so on. So if I move to the next one, and again, I will not spend too much time on this, but again, to share a little bit of history of the bus bar and also what does it mean, and to create a correlation with the human body. So since 1956, we have busway in our markets and considered as electrical arteries of the building architecture from the heart. And we say from the heart when, as I mentioned earlier, we can connect the low voltage side of a transformer through this bus bar, Canalis offer bus bar, through a switchboard instead of cables. And from the main switchboard, again, we can distribute electrical power to another switchboard or a secondary switchboard, again, through the bus bar. So give more convenience and safety in terms of distributing the electrical power. So that's why we say from the heart to all parts of the building. So Canalis bus bar, it's delivering the electrical power close to the loads, close to the equipment. So you have the protection and the tap offs as close as possible of the loads, the last loads, and definitely, and this is what we call decentralized architecture or distribution. And I will have a dedicated slide to give you more insights around what does it mean decentralized. So you can see here in shortly on this image that the fact you can have the bus bar which is going, and it's you don't have several distribution boards or panel boards. You have a one length of bus bar, and you can supply the dedicated load from a tap off or from a small enclosure having the protection. So this is what we call decentralized distribution. As I said, I will have a dedicated slide where hopefully we'll see the main difference in between centralized and decentralized distribution. And as I said, the Canalis, the bus bar, is coming from the heart, from the main transformer through the arteries, which is going a lot of the bus bar lengths to distribute the power in the building or around the building, and until the brain. And we considering the brain this type of units that you can connect to the Canalis bus bar, and inside these tap-offs you can have different equipment. Either could be definitely a protective device, you can have the energy meter, you can have MCCB communicating circuit breaker in order to transmit the information to the distance, and in order to control the device from the distance. So this is that's why we are calling the brain and do this correlation with the human body, because these type of units are purely the intelligent part of the Canalis bus bar, and some of them we are delivering fully equipped. We are doing this in Telfor manufacturing. If it's needed, a dedicated configuration of tap offs, we are doing this in Telfor manufacturing. So to conclude on this introduction side on what does it mean a bus bar and where we can use a bus bar, I think this slide it will cover and will highlight a lot of advantages of a lot of features that we are having with our Canalis bus bar offer. So as I mentioned, this bus bar offer, it's an alternative to the cables for electrical distribution, and we have ratings starting from 25 amps up to 6,300 amps. That's why we can connect to every low voltage side of the transformers. We are using in our offers either copper or aluminum as a conductors. It's very depending on the specification or what is needed on that project, but just to be aware that we are offering both copper and aluminum depending on the project and the budget that it's needed. The bus bar, it's encased in either a steel or resin case, because as you can imagine, we have the bus bar trunking system Canalis, which is working for indoor environment, but also we have this outdoor environment where we can be the situation to create the connection or to do the connection between the transformer, which is outside, and the main switchboard, which is inside. And for this kind of situation, we have a dedicated bus bar in resin case for this outdoor application and harsh application. We have option for 1 pole and neutral, 3 pole and neutral, and 4 pole. We have a lot of tap-off possibility. Tap-offs are the small enclosures you are seeing here that you can connect along the bus bar and give you the opportunity to feed the loads and to be sure you have the dedicated protective devices inside. With this tap-off unit, you have the flexibility to add, remove, or replace this every time. So for instance, you need a different tap-off for higher rating because your load change, you need more current to be supplied. So it's easy, you don't need to shut down the bus bar entirely. You just safely you can replace that singular tap off and we put the higher tap off or with different protective devices inside, and you have design and assemble time savings and secure power supply even during busy periods. So roughly these are the main advantages and why we are seeing, and probably you are seeing also in day-to-day activities, that the bus bar becoming or will become more and more present and will replace cables in most of the projects, depending now again on the complexity and the amplitude of the project. But in big project, definitely the Canalis busbar trunking is the solution. So I think this is it's a good transition to understand, as I said earlier, what does it mean decentralized architecture. And the next slide, hopefully it will shed a little bit more light on this. So we have two scenarios. So as I said, we have, for instance, what we call cable distribution or centralized distribution, where we say centralized because all the cables they are going out from the main switchboard and they are going to the several panel boards or several sub-distribution boards. So it's a centralized distribution, and we are calling decentralized distribution on Canalis because you have one main bus bar from where you can have another connection to another bus bar, and you can have another connection to other bus bar. So you can go from as much as 6,300 amps up to 25 amps. So doing this kind of going from one bar to another and decentralize the distribution. So you are not relying only on one switchboard. You don't need too many panel boards to do the distribution to several loads, because you will have these dedicated tap-offs along the bus bar. So the bus bar will transfer or will transport the full electrical power, and you can take as much as you need for every loads along the transportation. So this is the main one. You use a main bus bar instead of several cables to supply the loads. And here I put in just to highlight the difference on the left using cable and on the right using bus bar. So there are several ones, and as I said, I will share more details during the next slide. But one will be the manpower that you need to manipulate the cable. depending on the ratings that you need. So in average, you can say, let's say 5 people to manipulate the cables, and on a Busbar rating, you need 2 people to install and mount a Busbar. So it's the cable, it's labor intensive. You need cable ladders, you need cable trays to securely mount this cable. You need many work steps, such as cutting and scaling cables, connecting luminaire if it's needed, depending on the project, and mounting sockets. It's time consuming, and could be some complicated cable connection. So it's more complexity for further modification. For instance, if you need, you have at the moment 100 amps rating, and you need 160 amps because of, I don't know, extended loads on that building. And for this particular, I don't know, example, I can say maybe it's you need to change the cable to support this this current. But with a Busbar, you have a big Busbar, which is, I don't know, just an example, it's covering 1,600 amps. Even if you extend something in your building, you have already the Busbar in place, and could be also only a matter of changing maybe the protective device or the tap off if it's needed, but you don't need to change the full length of the cable. So this is one of the advantages of using Busbar instead of cables. With our Canalis software from Schneider Electric, you have the it's a plug and play. So you have the length, you have the tap offs, everything. It's connected each other. It's error proof, so you cannot connect things wrong, because you have either some good indication, or either purely it's not possible to connect if it's the wrong way. So easy to connect, less time to connect, less cost to connect because of the people you need to manipulate the Busbar. So these are some advantages, and again, to share with you what are the difference in between centralized and decentralized. This one, again, I will not go one by one in all the advantages of Busbar against cables, but just to highlight to you, for instance, I think the image on the left hand side is just 1,000 words, because it's an example. For instance, if you have a project or an application where it requested 4,000 amps to distribute 4,000 amps, for instance, if you are to use cables, you see on the right hand side, this is the amount of cables that you need to use, and you see the cable trays, the diameter of the cables, and the people that they need to manipulate, the space that these cables will need to fill in the building. And this is the Busbar trunking Canalis KTC. So it's KT offer with copper, could be also KTA, which is aluminium. But just see how much it will in terms of dimension, in terms of the people needed, in terms of time of installation, the main advantage that you have, and you see the difference. Just imagine, because today, nowadays, the data centers are one of the main, let's say, opportunities in the market. And you just imagine a big data center, and we had this example where you can have one full story with cables if you need, let's say, higher ratings. And if you can use the Busbar, you reduce the surface need for the electrical distribution a lot. So just imagine that the reduction of the space you need by using the Busbar instead of cables for higher ratings, but not only. And some of them, just before moving to the next slide, you have with the Busbar, you have 90 degrees bends. With a cable, you don't have this possibility. We know that you don't have this, even for the higher rating, you don't have the possibility to bend the cables at 90 degrees. You have T junctions with the Busbar. you need less maintenance than the cable, and I will touch on this again. So it's again a big advantage of and the maintenance on this during the let's say after you install the Busbar, you don't need to go and to verify every 6 months or every year the contacts. Space savings, cost savings, and the safe on the mechanical and electrical jointing at the same time, because everything is tested, everything is error proof. So yeah, this is some comparison in between the Busbar and cable. And again here, just to say a few words, I think, and hopefully this will explain a little bit better the difference in between centralized and decentralized. So here centralized, we have the cable distribution. So you have the main transformer. From the main transformer, you are going with cables to the main switchboard, and from main switchboard you are going every cable used to distribute energy to individual panel boards or distribution boards. And this is what you can do with the Canalis Busbar. So you go with the Busbar from transformer to the main switchboard, and from the main switchboard we go again with the, for instance, I don't know, it's a 1600 amp switchboard. You go with the Busbar 1600 amps, you transport full rating, and from this Busbar you go and supply the distribution boards with the tap-offs. Here we have every this you have a tap-off, so you see the amount of cables you are using, you see the decentralized distribution you are having here. If you have a problem with this load, or is definitely you can disconnect from this tap-off, but the rest of the loads will be supplied. And here, if you have something, I don't know, with the cables, you have that distribution board will be off. But what I want to highlight here is the fact, what is another difference in between the cables and Busbar and Canalis is the fact that you have different power losses on the Busbar compared with the cable, and these are documented in the catalog, documented with the tests that we done. So you see here, it's an example of power loss at loads spread over 60 meters run, where we have maximum 2% voltage drop. With the cable installation, this is the power loss you have. With the Canalis Busbar trunking from Schneider, this is the power loss you have. So imagine in this, it is more or less 2 kilowatt, and it's very depending. If you just imagine and do during 1 year, it will be quite substantial, and could be you can speak with the end user and say that will be a cost-effective solution. You need to take this into account, not only the front cost, cable versus Busbar, but you need to take into account also the fact that you don't need maintenance for the Busbar, so it will mean another cost if you're putting cables. You have some cost-effective solution with the Busbar because you have less power loss, and this will mean in less cost on the invoice with the energy bill because of this difference on the power loss. Moving forward, application. So where you can find Busbar. So as you can imagine, and probably you saw from the previous slides, because the Busbar is dedicated to distribute the electrical power, you can use Busbar everywhere, starting from 25 amps lighting application up to 6,300 amps. So everywhere Busbar is suitable. So practically every application that you see in the market, you can take into account the Canalis Busbar from Schneider Electric. So I put here anyway, I put here all the applications that we sold in the past. We have the references in the market. So I said buildings, any type of buildings. We have data centers, and as I mentioned earlier, this is a big opportunity in the market, and data center, it's asking for granular supply, so the Busbar and tap-offs are the best solution. Logistic and warehouse, again, it's this is booming, it's still booming after with the COVID and all the online orders and online ordering. So it's warehouses and logistics are still building, and in order to distribute the electrical power in this logistics and warehouse, you need a bus bar. It's easy to manipulate, easy to install, and so on. So hotels and restaurants, hospitals, supermarkets, car industry, aerospace, airports, marine. We have a dedicated guide how to use the Canalis bus bar on the marine, underground, stadiums. So as I said, once again, it's for full range of application and segments. So no segments it's excluded, or application for using Canalis bus bar. Before going a little bit in the offer side, I will go a little bit on and you'll see this if you have the curiosity to open a Canalis catalog. You'll see this, that is part of the front pages or every catalog, Canalis catalog from Schneider Electric. So we are saying that we have 4 main advantages other than what I explained earlier with the Canalis offer. So these are simple to estimate, and what just to say a few words, maybe a few more words to understand why I am saying simple to estimate. So designing Canalis installation, it's quite straightforward. So as there is no need to know the exact location, you don't need to know the power rating of the loads to be supplied. So therefore, it's very quick to cost the distribution functions. Moreover, Canalis flexibility means you can invest in existing needs without adversely affecting future expansion. And why I'm saying this, because for instance, you have a dedicated project, you need 1000 amps Canalis bus bar for, I don't know, the needs in the building or in that project is 800 amps, but you use this 1000 amps bus bar, and for instance in the near future you have some requests to install new EV chargers, because we know that again this is coming and this is booming, and you can use this and you can install new tap-offs on an existing bus bar. You can add it on the existing bus bar. So that's why I'm saying that we have this flexibility with Canalis, because you have already the bus bar and you can just maybe to buy 1, 2, or 3 more tap-offs and connect these EV chargers on that specific installation. The second one, it's easy to install, and I mentioned this again several times. Why? Because the compact nature of the Canalis offer makes it easy to integrate in all parts of the building. So it's like as a Lego plug and play. And since it's based on the decentralized architecture, as we saw earlier, Canalis can be installed at the same time. And I think I need to say this, it's quite a very big advantage. So because it's based on decentralized architectures, Canalis can be installed at the same time as the building is being built. And we know that, I don't know, it's another floor is built, another floor is built, so you can start to install the Canalis bus bar at the same time, which optimize site construction schedules. On the opposite side, with the cables, you need to wait that building is finished, and after this to try to draw all the cables and everything. But with the Canalis, we can do this at the same time the building is it's built. And as I said earlier, again, its Canalis ranges are factory tested, so which ensures a very high level of quality on site and considerably improve the success of site acceptance tests. So this is more or less about easy to install, and some more details around this. The third one, simple to maintain, and again I mentioned the maintenance one. It's quite key and important. So no maintenance is required on the Canalis electrical contacts. So this is very good to know. So it's kind of fit and forget. about Canalis, because you don't need to go and to verify electrical contact as you need to do for cables, because we know, for instance, if you are speaking about aluminum cables, we know during the time that this the connection could loosening, and after this, for instance, if you do this on the neutral, it's meaning that either you can have high or under, you can have over or under voltage. So it's quite important on the cable to do this, but with the bus bar you don't need to do this because the contact, they are quite well tested. So yeah, this is the main one on the simple to maintain. On the practical to recycle, because we know we are, again, sustainability message from our side, but not also from our partners, it's very important. So it's important to be in this journey, and our products to be ready to be recycled. So Canalis, it's recycle, but I think the most important aspect here, what I want to highlight, is the fact that, for instance, if a site where the Canalis is installed, it's being restructured or enlarged, the product can simply be removed and reinstalled in the new environment. So you don't need to drop all the existing Canalis Busbar or what you have already in the installation. So simply you can reuse this. So I think this is the most important one beside the recycle. So if I'm moving forward again on the Canalis Busbar, safety is very important, and safety is a standard from Canalis Busbar from Schneider Electric. And few sentences here, just what I mean with this. So the Busbar is halogen free and PVC free material. And again, you can imagine when a fire will occur in the installation, the comparison in between Busbar, which is halogen free and PVC free, against cables, an amount of cables, and the smoke and the emission that they have. The Busbar is type tested. So you have a lot of tests. We can assure this. We have on our website. It's self-extinguished material, so do not spread harmful gases during the fire. And in the event of a fire, the Busbar trunking does not emit any gas or toxic smoke, as I mentioned earlier. And again, on the safety side, we have interlock protection on the all top of devices. So you cannot mount the top of devices if you are not following some safety steps, which are quite straightforward, to be honest. And now we are moving, and just also cautious of time. I think this was the introduction part where I just I put some accent a little bit on the difference in between the Busbar and cables, what we are delivering in terms of Busbar from Schneider Electric with Canalis. So the main advantage you have. So now I'm going to the offer side. So when you want to choose a Canalis Busbar, no matter of the rating, I think, and I put it here just to give you what you need to remember. It's a hand, and I put it a hand just to show you that you need to be sure you are looking and you are choosing 5 components on every Busbar solution that you need, no matter of the rating. And here are the 5 components. So you need to be sure you know how much length, Busbar length do you need. And here it's an example of the lightning Busbar. So I will touch on this later on the slides, but it's very important to know, based on the project and application, the length of the Busbar. You need to, and this is what you can select from the catalog. You need to select the feed unit, because definitely when you use the Busbar, you have cables. So where you connect the cables to the Busbar, you need these feed units, and the feed units, sorry, they're coming with the end caps. So you have the length, you have the feed units and end cap, and after this you need to look after the fixing brackets, because you put the bus bar in the installation, but you need to fix either on the ceiling, on the wall. So you need to be sure you are choosing the right fixing brackets. The fourth component, they are connectors or tap-offs. So they are the ones that you connect this to the bus bar length in order to supply the loads. And here it's an image for the lightning bus bar. You have the small connectors, but you can see on the big or the higher ratings, you have big tap-offs, not like these ones. But you need to be sure you are choosing the right tap-offs. And last but not least are the connectors. Sorry, the accessories. So they are, because these are the standard one, but you need, I don't know, maybe you need an elbow at 90 degrees. Maybe you need the T junctions. Maybe you need a flexible bar in order to make the connection, or to make the connection in between two bus bars. So all these kind of accessories, you will find it in the catalog. So basically this slide, because I know we have several ranges, this slide is just to share with you the fact that we have five core components you need to have in mind when you choose a bus bar. So that's why I put the hand, just to keep in your mind this. Again, you need to understand in terms of length, we have different standard lengths in our catalog. We have 2 meter lengths, we have 3 meter lengths, we have 5 meter lengths as a standard, as I said, length. And this is a particular example for the lightning bus bar, which is KBA, single circuit. You see, for instance, for 2 pole is meaning, yeah, it's for single circuit, but for a single circuit we have a 3 meter length bus bar, and we have several variables in terms of tap-offs. So how many tap-offs do you need for a 3 meter bus bar? You don't need any tap-off. It's meaning that it's only for the transport. You are transporting the energy with that bus bar. You don't need to supply any loads. You need 2 tap-offs for that 3 meters. You choose this one. You need 5 tap-offs. You choose this reference. So it's very important that you know this information when you are looking at the catalog. So this is a capture from the catalog, what you are seeing here, and I will share with you towards the end of the presentation that we have a brand new catalog, and I think it's already shared in the chat, but I will share more on the support tools on this. So I don't want to give you let's say too many or too heavy information at the moment, but it's quite important to make you aware that you have several possibilities and opportunities with our bus bar to choose the length and to choose how many tap-offs do you need. As I mentioned at the beginning, we have this Canalis offer, the bus bar trunking system offer up to 6,300 amps, and we are splitting this offer into what we call the transactional offer. We are selling let's say could be found on our distributor shelves as Rexel. So you can find this, it's on the shelves. So that's why we call transactional offer. And we have what we call engineered offer, which is high power rating bus bar, where it's quite project dedicated. It's a big bus bar, so we take this different approach with this engineered solution. So this slide is just to share with you the difference. So as I said, transactional solution, it's single floor application, where we have this kind of, I don't know, you have a Amazon warehouse, it's a single floor warehouse, where this kind of application you can cover with a transactional offer. It's a standard catalog item, so everything is in the catalog, standard length, tap off, and everything. We have the list price and agreed terms with our distributors. It is stocked locally, so we have stock for this either on ourselves, Schneider, or our distributors, Rexel, as I said, and we are working with the approved stockist network, and Rexel is part of this stockist network. Engineer solution. So if anything you need as a vertical bus bar, for instance, you are going from one floor to another, you need a fire barrier to go from one floor to another. It's what we call engineer solution, and every inquiry is coming from your side to the distributor, from the distributor to Schneider, and it's included, every inquiry includes details, schematics, specification, elevations, drawings. And this engineered project or solution is supported by Schneider Electric Canalis team. So we have a dedicated team, support with tailoring the solution, support going on site to measure, to be sure what we proposed, it's matching what is on site. So it's a little bit more complex. So this is the difference in between transactional and engineered. And transactional solution, it's going up to 1000 amps. So what we are seeing, more than 1000 amps, we go to the engineered side of the bus bar. Here it's a panorama of our offers. So I put on the right hand side also some images just to see how it's look. But as I mentioned earlier, our offer, our Canalis Busbar trunking system is starting from 25 amps up to 6300 amps. So we have what we call Canalis KB, our lighting and low power distribution busbar trunking from 25 to 40 amps, IP55 and copper conductors. And again, this is a range of offer that it's kept in stock. So just to use, it's a transactional offer. After this, we have Canalis KN, which is our low power distribution offer starting from 40 amps up to 160 amps. And again, IP55, but this is aluminum conductors only. And again, it's one of the ranges that are in stock, and it's transactional. And after this, we are going up for the ratings, and you have Canalis KS, which is our medium power distribution bus bar with horizontal and vertical distribution. And that's why it's a mix in between transaction and engineered, because if you need vertical distribution, it's what we call engineered. But to give you an idea on the rating, so we have aluminum conductors from 100 amps up to 1000 amps, and we have copper conductors 250 till 800 amps. And after this we go probably you imagine on the engineer side. So we have Canalis KT, which is power transmission and distribution offer, aluminum conductors 800 up to 5000 amps, or copper conductors 1000 6300 amps. This offer, Canalis KT, it's to be used indoor, on the indoor environment. And if you need, as I said, an offer for outdoor or for harsh environment, we have KR, which is the resin, cast resin bus bar, and the same rating as the KT, but the main difference is that it's resin case and is used outdoor. So this is panorama of Canalis. So all the offers, all the ranges that we have: KB, KN, KS, KT, and KR with Canalis in front, and the type of conductor and rating. If I'm just highlighting a little bit on profile, so this is the KB, as you saw earlier, it's the lighting bus bar. So we have KBA, which is the single circuit copper conductor lighting bus bar, and we have KBB, and it's meaning that in the same casing we have two circuit, either two three-phase circuit, either one phase with one three-phase circuit, but the KBB is two circuit, KBA one circuit, and this is mainly for lighting application. You saw KN, it's our aluminum offer. It's going up to 160 amps, and it's this is the profile, and this is the profile for KS, and this is for aluminum. A is coming from aluminum, and C is coming from copper. I'm cautious of time. I'll try to touch a little bit on on the ranges, just to maybe to understand a little bit the difference. So I mentioned this one. I'll skip this one because I mentioned KB, KN, and KS and the rating that we are covering with them and the type of conductors we are using. So as I said, transactional offer, KBA, KBB, KN, and KS. This is to be seen on the distributor shelves normally. Again, I mentioned this, it's KBA and KBB. The difference in between KBA and KBB, the KBA, it's a single circuit, either one phase or three phase, and KBB, it's dual circuit. You see two single phase circuit, mixed single with three phase or dual three phase circuit. And short circuit withstand for both versions. You see KBB have better short circuit withstand. I will share with you now just to see an example how it installed the Canalis lighting Busbar. So hopefully you will see my screen now. I will put it's not needed to hear the sound, so it's just an example of how to install the Canalis lighting Busbar. So as you remember, Canalis lighting Busbar is 25 to 40 amps. So this is how to unload the products. You don't want to store this outdoors. It's mandatory to store this inside. How to prepare the fixing brackets, because you will hang this on the ceiling or a beam. This is how to join the length, because maybe you need length. So this is how you can fix this on the fixing brackets. So it's quite, as I said, two people, quite straightforward. These are the fixing brackets. Just clip to lock, and again, additional section could be added. And this is how you can fasten the joints. You can align on height, and you can definitely have dedicated. You can put against the fixing brackets also the luminaire directly on the busway. So imagine this kind of application on the logistic warehouse and big hypermarket. And these are the tap-offs you see to connect the luminaire. And this is the feed unit from the distribution boards. Yeah, and this is how it's looking at the end. So roughly to have an idea of in few minutes about how to install this. And every catalog, as I said, I have we have a brand new catalog on the transactional offers covering KB, KN, and KS, and it's shared on the chat. So please feel free to open it, to use it, and every range, either KB, KN, or KS, they have this panorama. So you just to be sure you have all the, as I said, 5 components. This we don't have accessories, but the fifth component was accessories. But just to see, you need to run. You need to know the run components. You need to choose the feed units. You need to choose the fixing system, and need to choose the connectors of the top off. So you have this view on the solution. This is a little bit on characteristics. So as I said, on KB we are covering 25 and 40 amps. Length of the bus bar 2 meters and 3 meters. Tap off unit 10 and 16 amps. And number of circuit 1 if it's KBA and 2 if it's KBB. And the color it's white. And typical application definitely for lighting. We have commercial centers, supermarkets, tertiary buildings. KN is the one which is following KB. So we have rating starting for I will have rating starting from 40 up to 160 amps. But as you remember, this is aluminum offer, so we don't have copper on this low power distribution, 40 to 160 amps. And I will share this slide with you because it's one of our value added with the can or aluminium bus bar we have in the market. So we have this patent. So definitely the main bar is aluminium, but at every junction, every contact, every tap-off unit, and so on, these contacts are silver-plated copper. So they are laminated silver-plated copper at every contact. So it's not aluminium, because we know that aluminium during the time will friction and will wear. But we have this patent with laminated silver-plated copper contact, silver graphite of the contact pads. So this is meaning that it's very hard wearing. It's guarantee lifelong performance level. So and also low resistance. The sliding contact made from silver guarantees the required pressure. So 12 times better than tin or 400 times better than nickel. So it's a main advantage that we have in the market against aluminium bus bars. So you can have a look and choose this if it's possible. Sometimes against copper, it could be a little bit cheaper, but also having a lot of added value and patent in the on this side. And these are the type of length we are covering. So I said rating 40 to 160 amps, length 1.53 meters as a standard. Tap-offs, which are the one that supplying the loads, are starting from 16 to 63 amps. So you are using this bus bar wherever you have to supply this kind of loads. And yeah, pretty much all kind of application. And just rush up a little bit. This is the last one. I think this is just to mention on the KS. And after this, we'll open for the question. Sorry. So KS is the medium power distribution part of the transactional. So it's going from 100 amps up to 1000 amps, 3 meter and 5 meter in terms of length. And it is supplying loads from 25 to 400 amps. So this is, as I mentioned earlier, it's aluminium and copper as a conductor for KS going up to 1000 amps. And again, could be data center, education, hospitals, manufacturing, everywhere you need to distribute electrical power, you can use busbar. So hopefully was not were not too many information. Hopefully it was quite okay. What I wanted to share before opening for the question, and William, I want to help me with this, maybe with a question. I want to share with you again that we have a brand new catalog for transaction offer, and you can find out on the chat. I think William uploaded on the chat, so please feel free to use, have a look. And yeah, please come back to us if any questions. So now everything it's fine for me, and thank you for attention and your time, and now open for the question if we have any questions.
Thank you, Marius, for these great insights. As you mentioned, you can find both the link for the video that Marius just shared and also the catalog on the chat, and also there is a button like documents. You can also have access and download it on the right side of the toolbar. And then for the Q&A, we have a couple of questions. So the first one needed a confirmation about what you mentioned earlier, Marius. So he said, a new tap-off can be added without isolating the bus bar, therefore avoiding shutdown to other areas. Is that true?
Yeah, tap-offs, yes. Tap-offs on the Canalis could be added without with the bus bar energized, so you don't need to de-energize the bus bar. So this is the IP provided at the connection. It's allowing to connect the tap-offs on the energized bus bar. Yeah.
Okay,
without shutdown the full bus bar. Yeah.
Okay. The second one, do you require access to bus bar joints for maintenance purposes, or are the joint maintenance free?
I need to check on this. To be honest, on the electrical contacts, it's not needed. As I mentioned, and I probably saw also the patented silver-plated copper contacts on some of them, but it's a dedicated, I think, guide for maintenance. I think we have for every of our ranges. Let me have a look on this and to understand and to give you a 100% sure answer on this one. And if it's a dedicated guide, I can share with UEM and share with you after this. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So we can follow up on this one. I think that's all for now. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to email us at marketing@rexel.co.uk. We have many more webinars with Schneider Electric, hopefully in the future. So looking forward for you guys to join us. Thank you again, Marius, for the great presentation. I think it's very informative for everyone. And see you soon.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, William. Thank you, Rexel, and thank you all. And have a good day and a good weekend.